ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has now taken his party's election campaign to Thohoyandou in Limpopo. The president and other party leaders have been campaigning across the country. He is now in the stronghold of the Vhembe, where the ANC still enjoys unwavering support. Newzroom Afrika's Pelane is there for us and joins us now. Pelane, very good morning to you. President Cyril Ramaphosa in Thohoyandou, a stronghold for the party and, of course, a comfort zone for the president himself.
Definitely an area of which the president might be very much familiar with. It is one area where the African National Congress still enjoys over 70% of the voters' polls. And of course, we've seen on other political parties like the EFF coming through, trying to gain some voter support. But in 2016, they did not do as much as they thought they would do. And that in regard, of course, we have not even seen them come into campaign here at the kind of rate that they've been campaigning in other areas, such as Polokwane, where the EFF still has quite a stronghold. So here in the Vhembe district, the former Venderland, this is where the African National Congress still enjoys a lot of its support. So the party president is in the area. We are expected that Vhembe, former cabinet minister, who also hails from the area and one of the conveners, PEC deployees here in the area, will be joining. Phakgadi has also arrived. She's a convener here in Limpopo, an NEC deployee to the Provincial Executive Committee. So she has also arrived here in the area. So she'll be part of the convoy of the president, trying to woo voters to continue voting for the African National Congress. But of course, a lot has to be said about service delivery in the area. There's still quite a challenge. Water is still a challenge, and that is the most basic challenge I think the African National Congress has been battling with for years, to try and even provide water to the nearby areas. There is a Nandoni Dam about 10 kilos from where we are currently, but it supplies water to towns such as Louis Trichardt, Makado, which is just almost 100 kilometers from where we are currently. So the area in itself still does not have water infrastructure where they are able to draw water from the nearest water sources. That is a challenge I would assume that the president would want to address when he's in the area, and of course plans in the future on how his party, in particular the Vhembe District Municipality as a water competent municipality, will be doing to try and ensure that they get water to the people of Vhembe. So we are expecting that the president will be arriving around 9:30 here. Phakgadi is already here. Vhembe is already here. The chairperson of the ANC here in Limpopo, Stan Matavata, we do understand he is in the area. He will also be joined by the deputy secretary of the party, Baskop Magamo. So quite a number of people here in the area who would be supporting the president in the door-to-door campaign that will be embarked in, and later on, of course, community engagements that it will be part of. It will be very much interesting to see how he interacts with the community here, because there's quite a number of things that they still want. The road infrastructure in the areas of which, in the rural areas of which they have been promised since 1994. Quite a challenge when people have to go bury their loved ones when there is rain. Still a challenge to get to school for children when there's also rain. So quite a number of things that I believe that the residents here in the area will be forwarding to the president to try and ensure that he gets the attention. Of course, he knows, we are aware that government is aware of the challenges here in the area, but it seems like at some times lack of political will, and at some times lack of proper administration to try and get things done.
In those efforts, and of course, as the president is gearing up to address those very important challenges, we do know that we've watched him throughout the election campaign trail, really speaking to residents from all walks of life across the country, essentially urging them to make their mark, vote for the ANC come November 1st. And out in Tshwane, the president was talking about how it's important to not just assume that the ANC will gain its power, but to go out and vote, saying that residents, community members, voters have a date with the president. Are we going to be hearing pretty much the same sentiment there when it comes to encouraging people to really make an effort to vote and vote for the ANC?
Well, I think it is always similar to the leaders of the political parties across the spectrum going out across the country. They've always been repeating the same message that they've been having. Of course, tantamount to some of the challenges a particular region is facing, Tshwane quite different with the infightings and political killings that are seemingly gaining momentum in that area, and as well as the factionalism which is rooted in that side of town. Didi Mabuza, as the deputy president, has been there 7 times already to try and resolve those issues. That the message there is that of unity, and that we will do better should you give us power to regain Tshwane. Here in Vhembe, it's a little bit different. The ANC has been in power since 1994. It still enjoys quite a majority of the electorates in the area. But I think what is important is to note that there's been a drop in the voter turnout since around 1999. You go to 2004, and as well as the 2011 local government elections. There is 2006 and 2011 local government elections. There's a drop as far as voter turnout is concerned. I think that is what he would want to deal with in the area, because although they still enjoy majority, it at times gives the other political parties and individual independent candidates some sort of light to gain momentum, simply because they are getting the low voters. People become despondent. They don't want to vote anymore because they're just not getting services, saying that politicians are all the same, literally. So we do know that the Patriotic Alliance is trying to gain momentum in the Mopani area, which is not so far from where we are. I haven't seen much in the Vhembe district. So the politics of the area still remains that the stronghold of the African National Congress. Not a lot of political parties have been campaigning here in this particular region, perhaps conceding to the fact that the African National Congress may still come out to be the favorite, but the low voter turnout might still be a challenge for the ANC, that perhaps that we'll see the African National Congress President Cyril Ramaphosa trying to address and woo voters to and gain their confidence once more, to say perhaps we will get things done once more. Whether the independent candidates would have done a lot of work to try and unseat the running government currently in the Vhembe district municipality, and as well as the local Makado, and as well as other municipalities in the area that themselves have been a little bit dysfunctional as far as delivering services is concerned. We do know that the only one that has been doing quite well is the Collins Chaban municipality, the new one that incorporated Vuane. They've been able to deal and exhaust some of their budgets to deal with service delivery. But here in the areas, water, road infrastructure, and as well as the proper infrastructure for schooling still remains a challenge. So that is some of the things I believe the ANC president would want to talk to when he comes through around 9:30.
Pelane, Phakgadi, let's leave it there. Out in Thohoyandou, ahead of ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa's visit there.